Donald Trump is about to appoint someone to the FCC that may be the final nail in net neutrality's coffin, because this individual is a complete shill for the industry, and in fact, he may be more pro-corporate than even Ajit Pai. So according to Lauren Williams of Think Progress, she explains that President Donald Trump has nominated the FCC's General Counsel, Brendan Carr, to be the agency's third Republican commissioner, a move that could ensure the end of net neutrality regulations. Recode first reported the nomination, which the White House confirmed. Carr was previously a telecom lawyer at the conservative-leaning Washington, D.C. law firm Wiley Rein, where he represented major companies such as AT&T and Verizon. He has also worked with telecom lobbying groups U.S. Telecom and CTIA, which represents wireless communications companies, Recode reported. Carr was also once an aide to current FCC chairman Ajit Pai, the LA Times reported. Pai has initiated a rollback of the 2015 net neutrality rules that prohibit companies from prioritizing content and access in the form of fast and slow lanes for a cost. Carr's nomination wasn't Trump's first attempt to fill the 2 vacant seats left in the FCC's 5-member board. The president previously nominated Jessica Rosenworcel, a former Democratic FCC commissioner under the Obama administration, that Congress failed to confirm her reappointment before it expired in 2016. If confirmed, Carr would join 2 other Republicans, FCC Chair Pai and Commissioner Michael O'Reilly. Mignon Clyburn is the only Democrat on the commission, and her term is almost up. The White House is considering re-nominating Rosenworcel, but hasn't indicated whether it would do the same for Clyburn. Carr's ties to big telecom could tip the upcoming net neutrality vote in favor of deregulation, since Pai's proposal to roll back net neutrality rules will likely pass along party lines, as it did for Democrats in 2015. Pai has supported Carr's nomination, saying he would be an added voice at the commission in efforts to reduce senseless regulations and install sound policymaking, the LA Times reported. So the fact that Donald Trump was once open to renominating the Democrat that was once an FCC commissioner, that was a positive sign, but since Congress didn't approve her, he basically said, well, you know what, we couldn't get her, so let's go ahead and opt for the worst possible option. I mean, you might as well just appoint the CEO of Verizon as the FCC commissioner, because this guy is as big of a shill as you could possibly get. He's a bigger shill than Ajit Pai, and Trump is nominating him in an attempt to get him to fill that seat. And then you got 3 Republicans, that's a majority on the 5 seats, and we all know what this means for net neutrality. It means net neutrality may be coming to an end in the United States. So it doesn't matter, in this case, how much we petition the FCC. They're just completely defiant. We've protested, we've done everything we could, we've submitted comments, we've complained, we've tweeted, and they're just not listening to us. Any bureaucracy that makes sweeping changes is required to take into account public feedback, and he's not listening to us. We're telling him, leave the internet the fuck alone, and he's plugging his ears, pretending that, oh yeah, you know, I'm listening to them, but then he has all these fake comments who's saying that they support what he's doing, when these are false comments from bots that are using talking points from the industry. So he's not really taking what we're saying into account. Ajit Pai is a traitor to the American people. He is completely sold out to Verizon and AT&T. And then Donald Trump, because he's an idiot who doesn't know what net neutrality is or what it means or what it does, is appointing a bigger shill who's an even bigger sellout to Verizon, who also worked for Verizon, came from the industry, and like Ajit Pai will go back to the industry once he fucks us all over and guts net neutrality. I don't even know what to do. I mean, the situation at this point, it seems hopeless. It seems as though, even though we have all these large companies like Netflix, Reddit, Pornhub, Amazon, all coming to bat for net neutrality, even though polls show that the public supports net neutrality, even though we've submitted millions of comments telling the FCC to leave the internet alone, they're going to do it anyway. Unelected bureaucrats, which the Republicans, you know, they complain about unelected bureaucrats and unelected justices all the time. Well, we have a case where basically a couple of unelected bureaucrats are going to destroy the internet. And it's not like they need Brendan Carr to destroy the internet. They already have the votes. It's 2-1. So what's happening here? This is completely unjust. It's unacceptable. This is the will of the people being completely undermined by the industry. Everyone should be outraged about this, but this story, it just can't muster the coverage that Russia musters for some reason. I wonder why that's the case. I wonder if it's because the parent companies of mainstream media outlets like MSNBC, who's the so-called liberal network, isn't talking about it. I mean, it's so frustrating. It feels like the world is against us, and, oftentimes, I feel empowered because I know that if we really want to stop lawmakers from doing something, we simply call them and put pressure on them. But it's not working in this case. So I don't know what to do at this point. We need everyone in the mainstream media to cover this story so the American people know what's happening. Because people don't know what's happening. And when they hear about net neutrality, they don't know what net neutrality is because the media hasn't educated them on net neutrality. It's a convoluted issue. But really, it's simple. If we got net neutrality, if we do away with net neutrality, we're all screwed. Comcast, Verizon, AT&T get to do what they want, censor your favorite websites, extort your favorite websites, not just on the left, but the right as well. And it seems like there's nothing we can do. So we just have to keep at it. We have to keep pushing. We have to keep submitting comments, calling, and complaining, because if net neutrality does go the way of the dodo, then we have to at least know that we did everything we could to stop that from happening. I don't want to be complacent. I want us to feel as though we tried our hardest. So at this point, that's all we can do.
Support this podcast by joining the independent progressive media revolution today at humanistreport.com.